It's a story from the Jewish tradition. Once, there was a rabbi who was loved by his whole congregation. Whenever anybody had something joyous happening in their lives, they would always go and tell the rabbi about it. But mostly, they came to him to complain. They complained about their husbands and their wives, about their children and their neighbors. They complained about the quiet and the noise, about the giving and taking. They complained about things that someone had done to them years ago and they didn't even remember exactly what it was, but they complained about that too. They complained and complained and complained until finally the rabbi decided to do something about it. So the next time he was in front of his congregation after the Shabbat on Saturday night, he stood in front of his congregation and said, "My friends, I have decided that it is time for another holiday, a different holiday, a new holiday. And in order to kick it off, I want all of you to go home tonight, and I want you to each get a sack, and in that sack, I want you to put all of your sorrows. And when they're all in there, I want you to attach a rope to that sack with a long tail at the end. And we shall meet in front of the great oak tree tomorrow at noon." Well, everyone thought that was a wonderful idea. Everybody rushed home and they started putting all sorts of things in their sack. They put in that cloth that dinged every 15 minutes that drove them crazy. They went into the bathtub and they collected the hairs that collected because they didn't like the fact that their hair was falling out. They took the recipe that gave them indigestion and the medication they took for it. They put pictures of their loved ones that they had lost into that bag. And they wrote down all the wrongs that people had done to them all their lives. And they put all of those into their sack. And then, as the rabbi had asked, they put a rope through that sack. And the next day, at noontime, they all met in front of the great oak tree. The rabbi stepped forward. "My friends, I am so glad to see you here with your bags of sorrows. Now, I want all of you to take your rope and tie them to the lower branches of this tree." Well, everyone got started and they were chatting away about what a wonderful idea it was and what a wise rabbi we had and why didn't we think of this sooner? And when there was all the bags on the trees, everyone stepped back and everyone had to admit that it was beautiful. Now, my friends, you may go around to all of these bags. You may look inside and you may choose which bag you wish to take home with you today. Well, how many of you have been in a department store during the holidays at a sale? Raise your hand. Filene's Basement, anyone? Right? Well, that was nothing compared to what happened next. People started running around that tree. Race feet racing, arms waving, hands gesticulating, elbows jabbing, voices shouting louder, 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 searching for that one bag that would make their lives so much sweeter. They went running around that tree, and then all of a sudden everyone just stopped, as if by a signal that nobody actually made. A wave of anxiety went across the people. And then, as if by another signal that no one actually made, they started running again, round around their tree, feet racing, arms waving, hands gesticulating, elbows jabbing, voices shouting louder, 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 racing round and round that tree, searching for their own bag of sorrows. And when they found it, they tucked it underneath their arms, and they went home with smiles on their faces. And the rabbi, he too went home that night with a big smile on his face, remembering the magic of the tree of sorrows.